What's going on, everybody? My name is Jordan, and I'm Senior Content Manager at Exertis Broadcast. We are here today in Orlando, Florida at the Unilumin Visual Experience Center. I am super excited to be here. Wanted to talk to you real quick about lensing options when it comes to XR stages. It's a very difficult process to sort of go through because it's different for every single XR stage. But one thing always remains is that you have two options when it comes to filming in XR when you're trying to film the actual pixels and not do any sort of pixel replacement with LiDAR or doing full immersion like we were talking about, volumetric XR as we were talking about earlier. One thing to note is that filming pixels on pixels, that's exactly what we're doing. One way to get rid of the moire effect, which is where you're filming like this, and as you turn, you're actually seeing rectangular pixels, you're seeing them turn into trapezoids instead of filming straight on. So filming straight on will help get rid of the weird sort of squiggly patterns that start to come up on your XR wall the closer you get to it. One way, the most common way that people get rid of this when they're trying to film and make it look like it's immersive is by filming as flat as you possibly can. Once you start to get off axis, that's when the moire effect starts to get worse. So one way to be able to say, well, I want to be able to turn and go up and down, one way to do that is to blur the background. So you have two options there. You can either put your talent closer to the camera, so I would be closer up and be able to have more of a bokeh of the background, or you can move your talent away from the background, but now you're having to deal with all of this, actually seeing the architecture of the room. And that's not always, depending on the size of your LED wall, that may not be a problem, but most times your LED wall is not going to be large enough to be able to get as far away as possible for smaller productions. Your other option is to take both and get them as far away as possible from the wall. So that means that you'll be able to your camera won't be able to see the individual pixels anymore because you've gotten so far away from the wall. So depending on how big your wall is, that might be the perfect solution, that you can get both your talent and the camera as far back as possible. Your camera won't be able to see the individual pixels and the moire effect is gone. So in a multicam situation, there are lots of ways that you can do it. One way would be to be able to have 35 millimeter or larger, even a 50 millimeter lens. Close in, that's able to be bokeh, so then you don't have the moire effect in close. But then if you want that farther out look, you could use something like a 16 millimeter, something wide angle, but then everything is in focus at that point because you're so far away. So you have the moire effect killed on both the far away shot and the closer shots. So there are lots of options when it comes to filming and lensing when it comes to XR. Lots of different options. Exertis Broadcast is always here to help.